is Free Association right here on 91.3 Real College Radio. And I am your host, Mark Lane, and I'll be coming at you until 6 o'clock on this Wednesday afternoon. Perfect for my segment coming up. Perfect. Stop and think it over. Well, we'll see what happens here. That was Sarah Borges with Stop and Think It Over right here on 91.3 Real College Radio. It is Free Association, and I am Mark Lane, and maybe I should stop and think over what I'm about to say because we're going to go into the headlines. All right, well, let's start locally here out of the Claremore Progress. Courthouse snack shop under construction? Am I reading that right? Rogers County Courthouse could have a luncheon canteen soon. Wow. Bids open this week included a snack shop for the courthouse basement. Basement bargains. Compbeck LLC of Tulsa sent in a proposal to operate Steve's Snack Shack in the courthouse basement. A sample menu included with a bid listed donuts at 55 cents, breakfast sandwiches, muffins, cookies, and yogurt. Also with lunch selections to include sandwiches, hot dogs, chili, and Frito chili pie. Wow. So they're actually going to have a snack shop in the basement of a courthouse. Forward that to my mom. See if they could vote on that in the local county she represents back in Arkansas. Well, let's get broader here and look at the rest of the headline. Let's go national now. Anti-war groups want Obama to forget pledge. Code Pink. They're a little upset that Obama hasn't done everything he could to be anti-war. It's not done by fiat. That's why when people try to get me to vote for a certain candidate over an issue that they have no fiat control over, it doesn't really swing me. Vote for candidate X because he is for oil wells, for bakers. Well, what can he do about it once he gets sworn in? Nothing. So, it's not done by fiat. Oscar ratings are up according to the New York Times. Yeah, but it was still the third lowest Oscar in terms of ratings. And it beat out NASCAR coverage on Fox, 60 Minutes, The Amazing Race, Cold Case, The Unit, and NBC finished in fourth place. Tell us something we don't know. And then a natural explanation found for UFOs. And no, it has nothing to do with any of my relatives here. Mysterious UFO sightings may go hand in hand with a puzzling natural phenomenon known as sprites, flashes high in the atmosphere triggered by thunderstorms. Well, okay, tell that to the listeners of real late night radio talk shows. And then we will discuss it. We will discuss it. Let's take this Facebook article, which was in the Daily Mail, a British newspaper. Social websites harm children's brains. Chilling warning to parents from top neuroscientists. Written by David Derbyshire here. Okay, so social networking websites are causing alarming changes in the brains of young users, an eminent scientist has warned. The eminent scientist being the Baroness Susan Greenfield. She's a neuroscientist and a Baroness. Sites such as Facebook, Twitter, and Bebo. Bebo? What is this? They're letting my nephews run websites now? Oh my gosh! I can almost agree with the Baroness here in the claim that it causes an infantilism in the brain of small children. Bebo? Who comes up with a name for these websites? All right. So anyway, she says her claim is that if you use these websites too much as a child, it'll rewire your brain. And you'll revert back to sort of an infantilism. Her comments echoed those she made during a House of Lords debate earlier this month. Then she argued that exposure to computer games, instant messaging, chat rooms, and social networking sites could leave a generation with poor attention spans. Yeah, I wonder how many people have turned the show off by now. I often wonder whether real conversation in real time may eventually give way to these sanitized and easier screen dialogues. Well, you don't have to look no further than the girl text messaging someone in class. That'll give you that they text message rather than talk on the phone. I don't get that. Psychologists have argued that digital technology is changing the way we think. They point out that students no longer need to plan essays before starting to write. Thanks to word processors, they can edit as they go along. That's a good thing. Satellite navigation systems have negated the need to decipher maps. Yeah, that's the one bad thing with the GPS is people don't know what an atlas is anymore. Sue Palmer, author of Toxic Childhood, she said, "I'm not against technology and computers, but before they start social networking, they need to learn to make real relationships with people." Right, because meeting new people is one of the fascinating parts of life itself. And It is. Time for our new segment here on Free Association entitled Campus Cognito. And we're going to christen this new segment where we, get to know some of the students here on campus who may not as be conspicuous as yours truly or some of the other talent here on RSU Radio. Some of the people on campus, the regular students. And like I said, to christen this new segment, we have Renee from Claremore here on Free Association. How are you doing?
Well, I'm doing fine, and thanks for having me, Mark.
Okay, so you're a non-traditional student, so may I ask how old of a non-traditional student you are?
Well, Monday, March 2nd, I turned 50.
So, honestly, why are you here at RSU?
I'm finally going to pursue my lifelong goal and dream of getting a BS degree in community counseling.
That sounds very interesting. So, what were you doing before you came here? Because obviously, you must have built a foundation and risen up in the world some way. So, what were you doing before you came here?
Well, yes, you could say that. Well, in the past, I had been a part owner in an insurance claims company, tire and tractor stores, and also I retired from that and became a homemaker for the last 5 to 6 years, and also took care of my grandchildren. But I've decided after taking time off, I really wanted to pursue a dream and a goal of mine, and that was in being a counselor.
Yes.
So that's what brought me back to school.
Okay. And you're going to be a counselor, so do you know enough about anger management to help me out?
Well, maybe I might need to go see a counselor myself after all this, but no.
Okay, well, why did you choose RSU? Why this particular university out of all the others?
Well, it's a beautiful campus, number one, but I live right here in Claremore, and RSU is a 4-year degree program, so I really wanted to stay right here.
All right. I don't blame you for that. There are students back home, non-traditional types, that go to the local university there. Right. So I understand where you're coming from. But are there any, even the proximity, are there any difficulties in going back to school at age 50?
Well, it's getting myself back in that mindset to learn to study and focus and be in that classroom setting. So yeah, that's probably the biggest obstacle I've had to overcome or deal with. Yeah, and then having the confidence, can I do this after being out of school for so long? But here I am.
Yeah, my dad, he took a concurrent algebra class with me because seniors got free tuition or something. We took it at the University of Arkansas, and it had been probably 30 years since he'd been going to school. He got owned in that class. So, yeah, you do have to be in the right mindset.
That was a learning situation for him, a big learning.
Yeah, he learned going back to school's not for him.
Well, it is for me, because I'm enjoying it. I love it.
Right. Well, part of the college experience, is being involved in organizations. Are you involved in any organizations?
Well, here locally, in the community, I belong to Church of the Nazarene, and I'm not as active as I was, but I still go every Sunday. Just don't get to be involved in some of the activities much because I'm very heavily involved in my schoolwork.
Right.
It does take a lot of my time. But I'm also involved in a sorority by the name of Beta Sigma Phi.
Oh, well, at your age, I figured it would have been AARP.
Alpha Rho 5.
Oh, Renee, you're a great sport. Thank you for being here on Free Association.
Well, thank you, Mark, for having me.
All right, well, let's get back to the true alternative music. Remember, request lines are open at 918-343-7913. And if you want to comment on this interview, remember, go to myspace.com/freeassociationrsu. Well, the kind of show I've had today, that's the only thing that was worth anything. 2 hours for the 5 minutes there.